the radio operator of the spacefaring vessel, LB-01. We were given the mission of broadcasting the serialized gaming podcast Safe Space to as many people as we possibly could. If you can hear this message, then clearly it's been a success. If that's the case, then you should know that what you're about to listen to is a tabletop role-playing game where 5 people roll dice and tell a story of science fiction and survival horror using the Mothership game system by Tuesday Night Games. It was originally formatted for YouTube, but the records are being modified for an optimal audio experience. However, be warned, this is a survival horror podcast, and there may be descriptions of violence, gore, psychological terrors, and mental trauma that some listeners may find disturbing. If you're still out there, then make sure you have your stim packs ready and whatever refreshments you may need. I'm starting the data recording playback now. This is Safe Space, Episode 1, audio file name, Dirty Work.
And we open on a blanket of stars spread across an endless view of black. Amongst the vast emptiness of space, there's a low rumble as the form of a huge ship passes into view. It's a hulking cinder block of a vessel clearly designed for heavy-duty haulage. Yet, even though it is not the prettiest of ships, it still has character. A stocky charm about it, if you will. Maybe it bears no forms of corporate identity as such, but it does have its own sort of modifications, as it were, and little sort of signature notes. Some of this can be seen in the decal adorned to the side of its shell, just off from the bridge itself. Written in now worn and chipped white letters is the name of this vessel. It reads, The Susan O'Brien. This is down to a signwriting miscommunication and oversight that is yet to be corrected, much to the chagrin of the captain. Its correct title is the Susan O'Brien, named after the legendary first person to successfully step foot onto the newly terraformed Mars, who, shortly afterwards, also happened to be the first person to die on the newly terraformed Mars, forever cementing a double legacy that will not soon be forgotten. And so this particular ship was named in her honour, and alongside the old-timey signwriting of its title is an emblem, that of a red planet with the outline of a figure across it. Some would say maybe it looks a little bit like a chalk outline. As this ship passes by, the camera pushes forward through its thick metallic walls into a large space, complete with large cargo bay doors and machinery. There's a heavy-duty cargo loader and a huge industrial APC-like vehicle with 6 huge wheels on either side of it and plenty of space for scrap and salvage. We pass into another large room, partly filled with large cubes of compacted metal, all lined up neatly and buckled into place, Buckets and boxes of bolts, wires and scrap are also packed away in this hold for safekeeping, and, just maybe, some of it may still be useful. As the camera pans up through the cargo bay, climbing an iron ladder onto the next level, we continue moving through dark metallic corridors within the vessel. It's not a place filled with sleek corridors, strip lighting and, dare I say it, carpet. No. Instead, this place has more the feeling of like an oil rig than a sleek, futuristic vessel. As we continue following through these corridors, all seems quiet, bar the atmospheric hum of a working spaceship, which itself lends a certain dark menace to the atmosphere. Then we hear another noise. It's the beginning strings of Sweet Home Alabama by Lynyrd Skynyrd that kick in as the camera pans further on, passing up into the ventilation system. Passing through the vents, it takes a couple of corners before our view drops downwards into the bridge of the ship. There are consoles full of buttons, levers and screens all around, giving off readings and lit in the delightfully sort of science fiction kind of way. With the sound of a low grinding noise, a large chair moves from one of the front consoles to its adjacent neighbour. In the chair sits a woman of about late 50s with short, cropped, silver hair and a red bandana wrapped around her forehead. Imagine Kathy Bates in a leather bomber jacket and a flight suit. That's kind of what you've got. This is Captain Austin, the skipper of this vessel, and its boss, for want of a better term. She flicks some switches and taps a few keys before sitting back to look over screens and holographic displays of the ship. As she does so, she fidgets absent-mindedly with a silver key that hangs around her neck. Okay, the atmospherics are good. Everything's looking 5 by 5. Darcy, honey, how are the power cells looking right now? A small monitor on a mechanical arm sort of lowers down in front of her. On its screen is like a very basic sort of pixelated face. It's kind of like a text emoji, but in pixels. It's very simple and has it's got a green glow to it. And a voice emanates from it. Power cells are running to operative levels, Captain. The replacement cell is performing as expected, and Mr. Brazel's repairs to the damage unit should ensure that it will still be performance ready, if we have need of it. As always, Darcy, you know just the right things to say to put me in a good mood. There's the clanking noise of footsteps on a metal gangway, signalling the approach of another figure approaching from behind, and the captain swivels round on her chair to face them. Gavin, what does she say?
Excellent intro, by the way, Vince. What you see is an average-sized, elderly-looking man dressed in crew fatigues. Looking closer, you see that his skin is like old silicon, pale and beginning to flake. His eyes are an unnatural yellow colour, and he has apertures for irises. But the oddest thing is his helmet-like haircut and thin moustache, which makes him look like a 20th century film and TV actor. Perhaps one that played a doctor that solved murders weekly. This is the Delta 1000 model SLOANE, or D1K, or Dick. An obsolete entertainment droid, now repurposed as a member of the O'Brien. He's also carrying a hot beverage.
Oh, there you are, Dick. I was wondering where you is that for me?
Yes, Captain, this is your caramel macchiato.
Oh. Every day I say to myself, what would I do without Dick? And she takes the cup. You made this, Gav. You did this. She sips on the cup and is like, oh, that is the nectar of the gods. A little taste of home. I'm gonna need you to give the crowd chambers once over when you can, Dick. Amongst all the other chores, I know we're a few days out from the Hyper Gate, but I just want to make sure that all the beds are all tucked in. We're all ready to be tucked in, ready for the journey home. When you find time, of course. That sound okay?
I'll make it show, Captain. Of course.
How's that hand doing? Hand of yours doing?
Well, it's, I'd say about 90% optimal. It's,
Give it here. Give it here. And she doesn't sit up, but she just sort of takes your hand. What does this? It's your right hand, I believe. What does your right hand look like?
Like a normal human hand, but sort of Frankenstein stitched, like silicone back on, and the fingers can only close so far. Well, it's the little finger that's constantly curled shut.
And the captain is sort of looking at it. Well, I know we've almost got it working. It's just that you still got a problem with that pinky, huh?
yes, that's not too bad. It's not interfering with my work.
Give me a moment. She just gives it she pulls on like a small pair of spectacles and then just gives it another once over. Well, we should be fine for now. Well, when we get back to the reg, and offload what we've got and get paid up, paid whatever we can, of course. Let's say you and I take a little trip, to Prospero's Dream and see if we can get you a whole new hand. How's that sound?
Oh, that'd be excellent. Maybe a big claw.
Well, now, Dick, you don't need a claw now, honey. I mean, what would you...
picking up the scrap easier.
But it's not going to make... I mean, how are you going to make a coffee like this with a claw?
Well, I hadn't thought of that. Oh.
Unless... Maybe I'll have to check my credits, see what we got saved up, but maybe there could be there's an option to have a detachable hand. Maybe you could have a claw on it, maybe a hook. No, that's
Or a
creepy.
coffee stirrer.
Yeah, I
Or
don't
some
want,
sort of cafetiere.
we don't want a hook on your hand. That's creepy.
No, we're not pirates.
Exactly. Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, so if I run through some diagnostics, see what we gotta do, just come here a second. And
Yep.
as she does so, there's a little flash on the screen. And Darcy's voice pops up. Captain, you have a notification from Gibbous headquarters. You are to call Rooster Beck at your soonest convenience. Oh, okay, what's this now? We pan out from that scene. Just slowly down out of the bridge into a galley. A galley and a sort of lounge area. It's a wide area. On one side of it, there is like a very well-worn couch. There's a vid screen with some vid cubes and all kinds of and some books. There's a few real tatty looking board games and cards. There's a box of poker chips. It's basically the standard chilling out space. For one, I mean, it's as much space as these guys have. But on the other side of it is the galley, which it's kept very clean thanks to a good janitor. And there's cupboards and there's a full working sort of kitchen, a futuristic kitchen, of course. And there's a large table with enough space for like 6 people around it. There are not 6 people around it at this moment in time. There's only one person around it, and they're making themselves busy with something. Lizzie, who do we see sat at the table?
We see Wendy, who is a strong-looking woman in her probably late 30s. She's got long, very straight blonde hair, very natural-looking, which kind of gives off this Earth Mother vibe, if you can be an Earth Mother when you're that far away in space. But you get the sense that underneath this Earth Mother vibe, there's some toughness, there's some like strength, physical strength that goes back to something before. And what you see is that she's customized her suit, her flight suit, with all sorts of little offcuts of material and dried bits of space plant or debris, and it kind of looks more like a little like a robe almost, some sort of ritualistic robe that she's kind of starting to create out of her own suit. And you can tell just by looking at it that she's quite thoughtful and meditative. And as you get closer, you see that Wendy is it looks like she's got her hand on the table and she has a knife in her other hand, and she's doing the thing between her fingers. Which I'm doing badly with a biro in the finger. I'm still really scared. Oh, I just got myself.
So, but is she just absent-mindedly doing that, or is this?
Well, as it pulls away, what you realise is that on her hand, she's crafting. She's kind of aggressively crocheting something, and she takes this thing off her own hand, and it's sort of a kind of crochet glove sling splint sort of thing. And so once she's happy that it's ready, she too is going to be looking for Dick. There you go.
Okay, as Wendy, as you're working on this thing and you're furiously sort of with the knife sort of stabbing away at the different materials, a flash of images pass through your mind. Just a split second. Several different images. You see tentacles, large, iridescent, pulsing with energy, before it cuts to another. Undulating sacs filled with strange liquid, and within the tentacles there are creatures that also have a certain glow to them, and they twitch and move. Before it flashes to another scampering starfish-like creature crawling up your leg and trying to clamber onto your face. Then cuts to the thing aggressively twitching as it grabs towards you, and you have it in your bare hands in front of you. And then with your strength you just tear into this thing like it's a overripe melon, just ripping it in half. And then it all just flashes, and you just... It's a memory, but you swear like there's the taste of an acidic, sort of sharp taste in your mouth again, like you've just licked a battery. As these things just briefly flash through your mind, what is Wendy then? What does she do then? She pauses as this happens. She pauses.
She breathes in deeply and exhales deeply, and she breathes in deeply and exhales. This stream could go in a whole different direction. And kind of reaches down to here on her uniform, and just taps a little kind of talisman that she has there, which also seems to be a creature with tentacles. And she says, I will stay... No, that's the captain's voice. Darn it. I'll stay true to you. I will stay true to you. And she gets up to go and look for D1K, if she may.
As she stands up, we cut elsewhere to the ship, to somewhere darker, warmer, with a loud humming noise and the clank and just the sound of engines working at their full capacity. There is all kinds of... I mean, this is a spaceship engine, and I don't know what a spaceship engine looks like. But if you imagine this thing is huge, and there is a gangway around there, the sort of a alleyway, not alleyway. There is a sort of bridges across so that people can get easy access to fix certain things. And there is in one part of this vast engine room, there is a solo figure. Jim, what does this figure look like, and what are they currently doing?
So, it's ZAM, and he's a below average height gentleman. He's quite short, stocky. He's got a little bit of a belly to him. He's taken his overalls and he's like undone the top half and just like tied it around his waist. So he's got like a shirt on.
Has he got like the sort of white vest that's covered in?
It's a white vest. Well, it was a white vest, but he's in his element because he's oily, he's greasy, he's hot. He's got like tousled, kind of sweaty black hair. He's got a thick moustache. and he's got an attitude. He's happiest in the engine room, where it's loud and he can't hear people, and people very rarely come in. And he's gently listening to the hum of the engine.
Yeah. And as the... I mean, it's louder here. I mean, not many people usually want to spend lots of time in this when everything's going. But Zam certainly loves to spend time there because it just blocks out all the noise. But as you're standing there, Zam, for a brief moment just looking around, you get the sense that you're not alone. And then you feel something brush against your leg.
Damn cat!
There's a big
Get out of here! Get out of my engine room!
There's a
Feed you
fluffy
into the burner.
there's a black and white cat, big and fluffy. As you kick out your leg, it sort of reacts like
Yeah, get out of here!
and it sort of spins on its heel and begins sort of trotting out like it owns the place. We all know what that catwalk is like. As it disappears out of the room.
Beast coming in here and messing up my engine room, getting fur everywhere. The stupid dog should look after that stupid thing.
But then after a while, you're certain you're alone once again.
Back to his engine. He's listening to it humming. He's just listening for any kind of like minor vibration or anything like that. Yeah. And it's all gentle and still. Yeah. And he brings out a hammer and just starts whacking it. And he puts the hammer away and listens. And the hum is just dulled a little bit. Yeah, that's it.
And as
carries on assessing the engine.
As we cut to the cat sort of walking out, and in the background, another clang of metal against metal.
Yeah.
As this cat sort of disappears into sort of a vent somewhere, and before you know it, has found somehow has found its way onto the floor above. It pops out of a vent into an altogether different kind of room compared to the sort of oily oil rig style feel of the rest of the ship. This is certainly a lot cleaner. There is definitely a lot of like strip lighting, and everything's very clean and in place. And this cat sort of just trots in, and there's a lone figure in this space, and the cat just sort of rubs up against them, just purring loudly like meow, meow. What does the figure look like that this cat seems to be fond of, PJ?
There's a gentleman in his late 50s, early 60s, perhaps. I'd describe him as portly, bald, but with a big grey beard, wearing a lab coat over a shirt and some trousers. The shirt's sort of a bit open. You can see there's at the top of his chest, and he's got a big gold medallion hanging around his neck there as well.
Is it any particular kind of medallion, or is there any detail to it, or is it just the bling?
Just the bling. Just the bling.
Which I think there's a definite character trait in there somewhere. So the cat is all over this figure. What do you do when you see this fluffy figure that was terrorising Zam just a minute ago?
I reach down, scratch behind the ear. Ah, Admiral. I wondered where you'd gone.
Does the Admiral have a place within this medbay?
Yeah, after a bit of fuss, I feed her a couple of treats, and then she just walks off to a corner of the room where there's a blanket and a little cat bed and some cat toys and a little scratching post all laid out. She just curls up in the cat bed.
I love to imagine that the fact you've got all these probably quite high-powered medicines, and right next to it a small pouch of like cat treats.
Yep.
Next to the pills. Let's
I've yet to confuse them.
Let's hope no one fails that roll for figuring out what they've got to take when they're in pain. Oh, these are cat treats.
Yes, but you're not thinking about the pain it's for.
Oh dear. Yes, and as this figure is fussing over Admiral Mittens, which is the best name for a cat ever, a voice pops out over the loudspeaker, and Zam, you hear this as well. Hey y'all, apologies in advance, but I'm going to need you to stop whatever you're doing and head up to the planning room. There's a call coming in from the reg. Oh, this is your captain speaking. And then it goes quiet for a moment. And with that, I feel like that's going to be the signature Zam noise. and I am here for
Puts
it.
his hammer down.
And as Zam and how do you refer to yourself, PJ?
Dr. Forrest.
How does the crew refer to you, PJ?
With very little respect.
Sounds about right. As the both of you step into the ship meeting room, which is a simple room with a large sturdy table in the centre, surrounded by like a bunch of chairs. This table that's been used for like planning, meetings. There's also some scratches and grease marks from the times that mechanical parts or salvage have just been dropped in and then discussed. And the captain, Austin, is sat at the table with a cup of coffee in hand, and Wendy and Dick are already there when you walk in. What's happening as the captain's sort of fiddling through some papers? She's just sorting out the call. What's happening between Wendy and Dick at that particular time?
Dick, I wanted you to have this. I made it for you.
What is it?
Well, I feel really bad about what happened to your hand. I kind of feel it was my fault because I had the axe, and so I thought, well, how can I help you to recuperate? And so I made this for you. And she holds out this kind of quite elaborate, badly crocheted with a knife glove. And it has sort of bits that can go over your fingers and kind of supplement any missing bits of fingers. But it also has 3 extra fingers. So it kind of has 8.
It's very, very thoughtful. What is it?
Well, I see it as kind of some sort of, well, like a talisman, so that you know that the god is watching over you and protecting you from any, further axe-based incidents. Or accidents, as we might call them.
I got clocked in the nose. Have you made one of those for me?
Would you like me to, Zam?
God, no.
God
quite
knows.
fetching.
I can make you a God knows.
Oh, jeez.
No.
I just got to keep my mouth shut.
Hasn't that always been a problem for you, Zam?
And
What?
Doc, you walk past all this, and you see like the captain sort of fidgeting away with the console. Hey Doc, if you want, there's a pot of coffee over there. If you feel free to help yourself. I'll get this up and running in just a second.
And I just roll my eyes, go over, pour a coffee, take a sip, and go,
Would you like any cream with that, Doc?
this is cold.
The captain briefly looks up to Dick.
It's a cold coffee. It's all the rage.
Steins.
And add some ice.
No, thank you.
Well, suit yourself.
With the atmosphere being what it is,
How much longer is it going to be before we get back?
well, it's not going to be long, Zam. Dick's going to check on the cryopods, and then we'll be on our way home. Look, just have a seat, get yourself a cold coffee, and let's see Let's see what all this is about.
Getting a cup of coffee. He's going to take out a well, and he's light it, coffee, and just start heating.
So you all sit around the table with with your drinks, or not, if you dick.
I can make some tea.
Okay.
I foraged from the.
You go make your tea, Wendy. We'll I'll boot this up. They can
What's
wait.
in that cupboard? Up one.
And Wendy makes a cup of tea. I'm not going to get you to roll on it.
Poisoned.
Roll for poison damage. No.
Roll for tea.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a game system out there that probably has some sort of tea making system. Let us know. But as you all sat around the table, Captain Austin sort of taps on a console that's sort of built into the table, and a holographic sort of screen boots up, and there's an icon of like a sort of green phone just blinking on and off that it calls out, and above the icon is the words Rooster Beck Gibbous HQ, sort of like bloop, 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 bloop.
I was going for the old Nokia.
That might be what he hears. The vid screen suddenly flickers and comes to life, and you see the face of a gentleman in his mid-50s, sort of also sipping on a mug of coffee. He's wearing dark blue overalls that are patchy with oil and grease, and he sports a pen behind his ear. He has a grizzled, well-worn look of someone who's no stranger to hard work. His mid-length hair and well-kept beard of various shades of grey, although it does seem to be a little greyer than the last time you saw him. This gentleman, who basically looks like a stockier Sean Bean, is Rooster Beck, the head supervisor for the Gibbous Incorporated fleet. As he sort of pottering around, he goes, "Oh, thanks for calling me back so quickly, Jane. Oh, you got the whole crew with you, have you? Oh. You know me, Roost. We're a team, so anything you got to say to me, you can say to them. Say hello, team."
Hello, team.
Hello, team.
Oh, well, fair enough. Hello, you lot. How's it going out there in the black?
Same as always.
Oh, I see you're still as cheery as always, Zam.
Yep.
Looking forward to coming home, are you?
Kind of.
Yeah, I bet. Anyway, I hate to do this to you all, because I know, Jane, I know you and your crew are on your way home after a long tour and everything. But we've had a couple of jobs come in that need doing ASAP, and as yours is the closest junker in that area, I got in that area, I'm afraid you've got the short straw. But I mean, I can feel Zam sighing from here, but trust me, if it's going to make you feel any better, the money will more than make up for the pain in the arse. Trust me. Should only be another it's just going to add another couple of weeks to a month onto your stint there. Like I say, I know it's been a long tour, especially being out there on the verge like that. How are the rest of you doing with Zam? Anyway, so first, these jobs. Right, first, and you can see that the captain's kind of, she exhales a little bit. What do we got, Roost? Right, okay, well, first one, this one's the big one. This was a big one, this. Requests came in from the office of, like, Echelon themselves. So naturally our superiors are wetting their knickers about it. It seems that there's a planetary cruise liner in that neck of the woods. It's sort of stuck out there. Seems to be having issues with its communications system. No doubt some sort of bug. You know what they're like. You know what these Oipol are like. You know, they don't know how to switch things off and on again without you telling them. Anyway, so they've asked someone to come in and double check that everything's just running smoothly. You know what those big ships can be like. So you know, it's a first time out of the dock thing. So they want it done and done as quickly as possible. Now, this thing about this is an executive class cruise liner. Like, lots of movers and shakers on this thing. Apparently it's been taking a tour of the planets, and people have been eating caviar and crackers or some shit like that. I don't know. Big money. There was a few people that were vying for this, but luckily I knew I had you guys in that sector. So if we can get it, you do a good job here, it could open a lot of potential opportunities and credits. I mean, they're willing to pay big. See a captain sigh and sort of look over to you all. How big we talking, Roost? Well, you know what you're getting paid for that entire 18-month stint? Well, they're willing to pay half of that for 2 weeks' work. And half up front. So, I mean, obviously I'm getting just because I'm telling you, I'm getting a little bit of a little parmesan as well. You know what I mean? So I'm getting a little taste, but so it's important. No, seriously though, it's important we get this done and we get this done right. That's why I'm glad it's you out there, because I know you lot can handle yourselves. Now they want to, because of the nature of this vessel, they want to keep it on the down low, avoid any bad publicity. It's like, it's not going to look good if this trip just goes tits up because of technical issues on its first time out. Do you know what I mean? So, as such, they want us to sign a couple of NDAs and things like that before we do it. Bigwigs, I don't know. So I can send all that over. Now, not only is it one of the reasons I'm quite interested in this job as well is not only is it full of these toffs, but it's also been fitted with one of those new hyperdrive systems, the new jump drives. The ones they've been banging on about for ages. And all of you would have heard, like, just even before that, Echelon and their companies were working on ways to make jump drives even more sort of convenient, quicker, cheaper, and they've been talking about it for a while, but they were going to announce something soon, but nothing had come about before you left on your 18-month stint. But it seems like something is actually active. Rooster goes on. It's the first one out. They've been outfitting all their ships with these. They're going to outfit all of them with these things from now on. I think they've already started, and from what I've heard, these things can go further and faster than ever before. Now, some of the company here might like to get their hands on one or two. So when you get there, just have a little look around. I know we got NDAs and stuff, but have a little nose round. See what the kit's like. It'd be good to know what these things can do and all that. I'm not in the business of buying lemons either. You know what I mean? So, let me know what it's like. And
well, they do go very nicely in tea.
Oh, I'm more of a mint tea man, I'm afraid. Well, that's what the wife gives me. Anyway, so I want the opinion of those I trust. So that's the first one. So and like I say, if we do a good enough job, we might be able to talk the big wigs into sort of a discount or free installation on this thing. That could be pretty swizz. I mean, this sort of tech should be right up your street, Zam. So I know you're grumpy about it, but there's something to look forward to.
I'll be waiting to get my hands on one of those new jump drives.
Exactly. And the second one is and I've only added this to it because I know the problems you had with RH47 and that the drilling stuff that you never managed to get all in one go. So I know you're running a little light. So I thought I'd two birds with one stone and help you out as well for doing this. This one's a simple junk and trunk job. So there's on your way. There's an old decommissioned satellite relay that's floating out there. One of the older OA sort of deep space models that he took offline a few years back. The ones that were manned. Nothing's manned anymore. That's why I don't trust it as much. But it's not in working order. But there's some good scrap to be had, and the panels alone will fetch a pretty penny. So from where you are now, it should be en route to the coordinates for this other vessel. So I reckon you can stop off, chop off bits as much as you want, and just head onwards. Fill your boots, make sure your cargo is all stocked up, and then you can head on and sort them out. And As always, found salvage is yours. So if your gang wants to look around first to see if there's anything of use on that old derelict or whatever it is. I mean, I doubt their sandwiches are still be in good order, but there might be something on there that you might be used for you. But just have a look round and see if there's anything of use. Just make sure you bring back the hardware, and we'll all be laughing. Okay? Does that sound alright?
Yeah.
You see Rooster sort of look to the captain. So how long do you think this is going to take, Rooster? Well, I think in total to get there, it's probably going to be a couple of weeks. There, so it's going to add another 4 weeks before you get to before you journey home. So you should have plenty in the tank, unless Zam's been eating all your stocks again.
What you got against me, pal?
You know what I've got against you, Zam. It's that attitude. Just put your ideas up.
Yeah. Fuck.
And the captain's like, yeah, okay, just that sounds fine. Just send it on through, and we'll put the champagne on ice for a little bit. Oh, good. I'll send you the coordinates and the info pack now. And when you all get back, I'll crack open that decent bottle of scotch I've got in the desk. You got any questions? And there's a room of crew that are clearly not happy about what's just been asked. But how does Dick feel?
I'm quite pleased. I could spend more time with my crew.
Dick's just sitting there smiling as everyone else has no. Well, good luck. Stay safe out there. Yeah, I'll message everything, and yeah. Anyway, I better go. And then you see Rooster sort of look over. Oh bloody hell, Cassandra! How do you turn this thing off? And then with
an imbecile.
With a click, the feed goes black once again and disappears. Well, you heard the man. Looks like we're doing overtime.
Fantastic.
Dick, we should have more than enough in stacks for the journey, but if you could check everything is okay.
Well, I'll head down now.
Okay, we'll just have be a little bit lenient with some of the meals for a couple of days, but we should be fine.
I'll start rationing.
We don't have to. Oh, he's too
rationing. Oh,
I'll talk to him. Do any of y'all? I mean, I know Dick's quite happy with the situation, but what about the rest of y'all? Have you got any actual questions off the record?
Well, it feels like the universe will take us where it will. Although I personally will feel a little uncomfortable being surrounded by people who value material possessions above spiritual and emotional connection. So if at times, if we get to this place and I feel I seem a little off color, that might be why. But I believe I can kind of spiritually fortify myself and all of us, all of you who would like some support at this difficult time. I'm sure I can help.
I ain't teaming up with her.
So, no, she doesn't have any questions.
It was more of a comment than a question, I admit.
You know, Wendy, that offer for psychiatric evaluation is always open.
You should really take it.
Just because I have a healthy relationship with the spiritual world and through my faith doesn't make me crazy.
Nah, it's just all the rest of this shit.
Hey, okay. Everyone, you know the drill. Get back to your job. Zam, go check on everything, because if we gotta make sure that everything's running tip top by the time.
Yeah, I'm gonna go charge up Bernice.
That will be the first time.
I mean, this should be quite easy, but of course we need. If it's a junk and trunk, then Doc, just make sure that we got the right equipment and meds and stuff. I don't want to. We're so close to getting home without any more significant events. And Wendy, just be cool, Wendy. Okay?
Yes, Captain.
Okay, well, as you were. And you all sort of leave the meeting room. Dick's already wandering off, checking through the storage. And yeah, over the next couple of days or two. What does, having heard this news, everyone was sort of mentally preparing that in the next couple of days they would be going into essentially cryosleep for 2 weeks until the last journey home. How does everyone react to this news over the next couple of days? How are they? Zam.
Zam's conflicted because he doesn't really want to be home, but he also doesn't want to be stuck in space with these nuts either. He was just looking forward to cryosleep and switching off and not having to put up with anybody.
Are you sure this is Zam? Or is it you, Chick?
Oh, no, I'm a delight.
Oh, I know, darling.
He's going to be down in his engine room just smacking shit out of the engines.
Yeah. Wendy, what does Wendy do over the next couple of days?
Wendy is going to... So Wendy's day job is... she's speaking out loud in her own voice. Maintenance. So she's going to be generally maintaining. Yeah, making
sure the ship's all running smoothly and doesn't deal with the engines better.
Tightening the odd bolt on a ladder or, just... Yeah.
What about the doc?
He wasn't looking forward to getting home, so he's sort of secretly relieved, but really doesn't want to show that to anyone. He just spends his time checking that, and rechecking and checking again that his supplies are all fully stocked up, his equipment's all ready to go. Occasionally drinks some whiskey and keeps on pestering Wendy to get a psychiatric evaluation.
Speaking of someone that's completely level-headed, what about Dick? What does Dick?
He has a spring in his step now. He's everything's ready to be rationed for at least 6 months, and he's now
6 months.
9 at a push. Like, it's been evaluating nutritional values and making sure what's the minimum a human can sustain themselves on. So you should be fine. and just basically cleaning, just extra show tunes going through his head.
Yeah, there is a point when you head to the sort of the cryo bay and you're just checking on all of that. The cryo bay that you essentially you were going to check to make sure that everything was ready for the trip home, but now it seems like a couple of the tubes aren't needed for a while, but you still give them a good clean and see all the names of all the crew, and you see the members of Beta Shift also peacefully snoozing in their cocoons. Makes it sound like they're aliens in their cryo tubes. With there's the names Kelvin on one of them, Turnip on another, Albright is one, and there's another tube. There's 10 tubes in all, and most of them are empty. But there is another tube that, as you know, has someone that wasn't originally part of the crew. Just sleeping soundly. A sort of an unexpected guest that is currently asleep until you can get home and get her situation sorted. But everything is A-OK, all the vital signs are fine. And you're quite pleased that you don't know if this offer of all of this money, of course, extends to these people asleep, because you were the only people in the room at that moment in time.
Union rules, mate. Union rules.
It's the future, and the future is horrible. But certainly the crew make themselves busy. Keep everything going.
Can I ask, is Dick wearing his glove?
Yes, probably not correctly.
Wendy's happy about that.
Every time Dick passes by Zam with his glove, just looks at it and he just tuts.
Hello, Zam.
I wave
Hey,
with
Dick. Oh, God.
It sounds exactly how it's supposed to sound coming out of Zam's mouth. Hey, Dick.
Hey, Dick.
This campaign is going to keep on giving, by the way. You didn't realise that. But yeah, after a couple of days, there's a point where, Dick, you're sat in the bridge with the captain, and she looks. All the coordinates are in, and you should be getting to the first part of the journey, where the satellite relay station is. Satellite 23-7. Echo 23-7, which was the old orbital relay station. And the captain is looking. She's pondering. I think they're pondering for a moment. Dick, I've just gotta head off and do some chores. Go to the powder room and all of that. Are you okay? Do you want anything while I'm up?
No, I'm all good, Captain.
Okay. Well, until
All charged up.
Until I return, the bridge is yours. Just make sure you don't crash.
I'm programmed not to.
Thank God. And she walks away, leaving you in the bridge, and it's all quiet until like the little monitor pokes his head down. Dick, would you like to play a game of solitaire?
Oh, probably not a good time. I'm supposed to be piloting the ship, but yeah, you go first.
As you wish. And as you pan out, Dick and Darcy just begin playing games.
Minesweeper next.
I have the latest version, Dick. Wendy, you are in. At this moment in time, where is Wendy's quiet place?
In the maintenance and kind of tool room downstairs, in the lower deck downstairs. In the lower deck, there are sort of racks of equipment and tools, and the weapons are in there as well. And sort of round the back of those, hidden away slightly, is Wendy's place where she goes to reflect. And she has kind of scavenged bits of materials, like blankets and old bits of clothing, and made this sort of quite, nice little nest of fabric almost. And then on the wall in front of her, she's made this obviously beautiful and meaningful kind of shape of a thing with a sort of bulbous head, and then these 8 tentacles that kind of come out from it. And in the body of it, you can see 3 hearts. And this is her god. This is her octopus-based god system. And so she's spending time there, just kind of preparing herself mentally, staying calm, using the time to just center herself and prepare for lugging bits of metal off the dead satellite.
As you prepare yourself, you hear
Yeah.
and the captain is stood in there. Hey, honey. I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm sorry to interrupt. Can I have a... Is it okay if I speak with you a moment?
Sure. Do you want to come here or somewhere?
Oh, I'm okay. It won't take too long. And she steps in, and you certainly have made this place your own, haven't you, Wendy?
I hope you don't mind. Everything can kind of, when we get back.
No, honey, I don't.
You know how
whatever helps
it
you.
helps. Yes, exactly. You know how it helps me to stay.
Yeah.
Where I need to be, focused on the job.
I know what it's like being out here for so long. So whatever you have to do to get through the long hours, I don't care. Believe what you want to believe, do what you want to do. As long as you do your job, that's fine. I just wanted to have a moment because we're going to be out here for a little bit longer, and it hadn't been too long since that little event we had just after RH47. Now,
well, I apologized to Dick, and I made him this glove.
Oh, Dick's fine. Don't worry about Dick. He's fine. He loves that crocheted oven mitt. Whatever. Yeah, he's.
I should have made it fireproof.
He's happy as a pig in shit. He's fine. He's fine.
I'll make a fireproof one. Next time, but not next time, because there won't be a next time, because I'm not going to chop his hand off.
Well, that's one of the things I was going to say, Wendy. Now, I know we had that little incident, and if we're going to be out here for a couple more weeks, I know it's been a long tour, but I need everyone to be on point, because you know the job. It's a dangerous job. I just want to ask, are you okay?
Sure, I really am. It was an unusual situation that we found ourselves in, and it wasn't like I was aiming for him. Was I aiming for him?
No, I was there. There was... Look, something was on board, and you dealt with it. I've never seen anyone dealt with something like that in quite the way you dealt with it, but you dealt with it.
And Wendy just kind of looks at her hands and remembers the feeling of...
There's a flashback of like the strange orange glowing goo on your hands for a brief second. Make a sanity save.
Dude.
First roll of the campaign.
Oh, no.
I thought we were going to get through the first half of that.
Oh no! Oh god! It's going to be bad. I'm going to get nothing to help me on this at all.
You could use your military training.
That won't help. No.
No.
That
Fail?
was a 95.
95. Ooh.
Yes. Against a sanity of 20.
So, for those watching, we're Mothership. Everyone has their stats, and they have certain attributes for everything. And when you have to make a check or a save in this game, you have to roll under the number.
So basically, 95. It's shit.
There's
There's only a few more shit than you can be than 95.
There are certain skills that you can use to help, and it's up to the players to then sort of try and talk me into it. And I'm sure there's going to be lots of people trying to sort of convince me that it should be this, and I'll say, no, you're not going to use that. Yeah, but everything helps in this game, depending on how skilled and trained you are. But it wasn't a critical fail, which is good. But you will take a point of stress just thinking about it.
Yeah, I can...
Wendy, honey. It's okay, and she...
Just there.
And the captain just holds your hands gently. It's okay. It's okay. Now, if you don't want to go out to do the work, I can get someone else to do it.
I want to do my job, Captain. And we've been out here for 18 months.
Yeah.
Time is relative, and this is the only thing that has happened, and
exactly,
it was unexpected and kind of gloopy, and
It was certainly
I need
strange.
to get back on the whole space horse.
Yeah. Well, I would say put a saddle on it before you get back on, because I need you. You've been working amazingly until now, Wendy. I just need to make sure you got our backs. Okay?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Put
Back
a
in the
saddle on it.
back in the bridge,
Saddle on space.
Dick, as you're talking to Darcy, who knows what a monitor and an android talk about when they're just shooting the breeze.
Just sounds like dial-up.
Just that going. It's probably terrifying. And you hear, bling, bling, and you notice something on one of the sensors. And on a display, like an old school sort of submarine radar screen, you can see something blip appear onto the screen. And it appears to be heading in the direction of the ship.
Darcy, do you know what that is?
There seems to be something approaching the ship.
Well, I can see that. What is it?
Calibrating. And there's a moment. There is an unidentified object approaching the ship, Dick. Would you like me to alert the captain?
Oh, yes, please.
Then I will do so. Bang! Something ricochets off the glass of the bridge.
Evasive maneuvers!
And do you react that quickly?
Yes.
Okay.
As soon as there's a bang in evasive manoeuvre.
Okay. Right. Then I need you to make me a piloting check. So that'll be a speed check. As soon as you grab the steering.
Do I get to use any of my skills, like computers? Oh no, that's not really piloting, is it?
No. This is a speed check.
I've got a 57. My speed's 35.
It's not pretty when you go evasive manoeuvres and you just pull it and just all of a sudden the ship sort of lurches and you look up at like the windscreen. There's no scratches or worrying damage on the screen, but you pull at like the control sort of wheel and stick, and the ship suddenly lurches with a and everything sort of goes at an angle. Zam and Doc. Doc, are all of your units closed? What were you doing at this particular moment?
I was just sat at a desk drinking some whiskey, reading a book.
You feel the whole ship lurch, and the bottle begins to slide off the table. As you feel your stomach start to turn. You're still not completely used to this kind of being out here, but the whole thing is moving.
Take another swig from the bottle.
From the bottle?
Yes. And then I may head out towards the bridge.
Yeah. Zam, what are you doing?
Zam, classic Empire Strikes Back style, is underneath one of the engines in like a little kind of cubby hole, and his tools are precariously like on top, and as it hits, they fall down into the hole that he's in and smack him on the head.
Oh, well then. And what sort of tools are they, Zam?
He's got his electro spanner, his hand welder.
Make me a body save, please, Zam.
All right, here we go. I got 61, and my body is 29.
You take 1 point of stress.
Yeah.
And 1 point of damage as all of this stuff falls on top of you.
You just hear, ow! What the hell's that stupid robot doing?
And Wendy, as the captain's talking to you, that whole thing lurches, and you feel like you see some of your ornaments sort of move, and she's like, "What the hell?" She starts to lose her balance.
So instinctively, Wendy says, "Stay there, Captain," and runs to grab a weapon because she's in the armory. So she's getting armed.
Okay.
Pulse rifle.
Well,
Smart rifle.
there is.
One of those.
We will find out what Wendy grabs after this break.
Hey!
Hey! So, as the ship lurches, and Wendy, you shout at the captain, tell her to stay put.
Stay back!
What's Wendy doing?
Wendy is getting the captain to stay back and rushing to the kind of shelves of stuff and grabbing the thing that she sees as the best weapon, which is a nail gun. And then she's just going out into the corridor, just like...
And this is a big sort of industrial, do you know, it's almost like a deep sea sort of nail gun, do you know what I mean? This is probably 2 hands that you're going to need for this thing.
Yeah.
This is,
Yeah.
as you run out, not even seeing the captain sort of trying to shout after you as this is kicking off, and the ship is still veering off with that fail. Dick, you are not in control of the ship right now.
I'm just leaning into it. Whatever it is, I'm escaping from it.
And with that fail, I forgot to say before, you pick up stress. Yeah, one stress. Zam, you had a body save fail as well, didn't you? Did you get?
Yes, so I've got my 1 stress and my
took
1
stress. Brilliant.
hit of damage.
And the doc was just perturbed that his whiskey almost fell over.
He spilled his drink, took a swig from the bottle.
Yeah. But everyone's sort of moving, and as it's almost like an actual ocean ship now. I always pictured this ship as being like something from Deadliest Catch, and now it's like a small vessel that's on a sea as everything is just leaning. And Zam and Doc, you bump into each other in a corridor as Wendy rushes past you.
Oh, Jesus, she's got a weapon.
I have to point a gun at her again, aren't I?
Yep. You got that trank again?
God damn it, Wendy, come back!
Always.
Come back, Wendy! As the captain's trying to catch up.
Where are they?
Where is Wendy going?
You won't surprise me again.
The amount of sanity saves I might have to get Wendy to make, purely because of the way Lizzie's playing this. I mean, she's full on Apocalypse Nowing it.
She comes up, one of the ladders in the middle just emerges like that.
Oh.
Doc's checking his trank gun's fully loaded.
And what's Zam doing?
Zam's going to be firing up beneath.
The laser cutter.
Yep. If she's running around with a nail gun,
oh my
he's
god!
Going to fire up.
Well,
this
the laser cutter is all the way down in the cargo bay. That's where you mount it with the batteries and everything. Yeah. So while Zam runs off to get that, he doesn't. Do you say anything?
He's gonna huff his way down and go, "Oh God, not this again! I gotta get beneath."
We all know where he's gone.
Meanwhile, in the bridge. So Wendy, are you actually heading towards the bridge? Or are you just stalking around the corridors?
I'm kind of heading up to the bridge, but as I go past each room, I'm going to kind of check it.
Almost with
Clear.
military precision. You notice this, Doc? The way Wendy's moving, there's, even though you clearly think she's unhinged, but there's a certain movement to the way that Wendy moves.
I let her put a little extra distance between us.
As I pop Zam, huffing and puffing, carrying this big laser cutter.
And the captain's next to you, Doc, and she looks at Zam like, Zam, what the hell are you doing with that thing?
If she's going to go off on one again, I'm
not having you cutting a hole in this ship. You'll kill us all!
Also, Zam, have you taken your inhaler?
No, I left it back in the engines.
Zam, why don't you take a moment and just head back and just take a moment. We got this. Me and the Darker got this, okay?
Back?
Okay, you Zam, you look awful red in the face. Have a sit down. Just have a sit down, Zam.
I'm gonna
Okay, Doc, come with me. Let's see if we can fix this. And
I'll be fine.
Just give it 5 minutes.
Just as the captain's walking off, the Doctor just leans into Sam and goes, "Can I borrow Bernice?"
What? You want me?
Never mind. It's fine.
Bernice. I'm funny about who Bernice hangs out with.
I'm good. It's fine.
Dick, as you're still veering on this lever, and the ship is, and Darcy's saying, "Dick, I believe you are using too much torque on the steering stick."
Darcy, damage report.
We have not been damaged, Dick.
Oh, damn it! He doesn't even know what he's doing.
And then I yank it the other way.
A breathless Sam's going to be like, "We're moving too fast. He's using too much torque."
As this happens, make another speed check, Gav. There's another piloting check.
$18.
Is that a success? Ooh. This one is more. It is more controlled.
I Tokyo drifted it.
There isn't a massive. there isn't a. You don't use the handbrake, but you. There isn't a massive lurch as the ship stops and then goes in the other direction. It's a fairly smooth transition. But the rest of you do feel your stomachs turn and the ship beginning to turn back the way it came. Zam is sat by the corridor, just trying not to throw up. And just as you're doing this, Wendy appears in the bridge.
Do I notice her?
Yeah, I would imagine. I would imagine so. Yeah.
It's you.
Stop what you're doing.
We're under attack. I think.
Where are they?
Out there somewhere. We hit something. Something hit us.
Are they inside? Are they inside?
Well, I don't know. I've been here the entire time. You tell me.
Are you one of them?
What? Darcy, what's that beeping?
Why are you
look
beeping?
Back on the monitor, and the shape has been getting closer, and you moved away from it, and then you turned back again. Back into the path of whatever is coming towards the ship. We have not been damaged, Dick. Yet there is something approaching.
How big is it?
What the hell is going on? Wendy, put that thing down.
There's nothing. The ship has not been infiltrated, Captain. But there's a bleepy thing out there.
Dick, as you look out of the window of the bridge, you can now see something, a shape in the distance. It is now visible, and it is hurtling towards the vessel. It seems to be a large piece.
Captain, there's something coming.
You can't make it out right now, but the way it's sort of twisting and moving, it seems to be some sort of debris of some kind. But it's...
I don't know what it is, Captain. It's some sort of debris.
Dick, I thought you said you had... I need to go through some piloting lessons with you. What the hell is it? Oh my god! Buckle up, everyone! And she gets into the seat and then starts clipping in. As you look out the window and you can now see there's a large piece of metallic debris hurtling through space, and it's spinning out of control towards the ship. So you've got time to buckle up. There's a few seats in this bridge.
Yeah, I leave for a chair.
Zam's only just huffing his way in.
So, let's see if Zam makes a speed check to see if he gets in before the captain tries to make evasive manoeuvres.
Right. So my speed is 45. I rolled 86.
Okay, that's a fail.
Yeah.
So Zam, you're stumbling towards the bridge, and you can see the open doors of the bridge as the captain sort of grabs hold of the wheel. She goes, "Okay, I'm going to need your help with this, Dick." And then she makes some evasive manoeuvres.
Jesus!
Can Wendy run for Zam because no man left behind?
Oh, so you unclip yourself.
To try and put him in either get him in or hold him safe.
Okay.
Put my head
I would
in my
say
hands.
you're probably on a seat that was near the door, so you would be near enough to him to make this sort of to try and make this safe. But you've unclipped just as the captain does this. So several different things are going to happen at once, including one of you making a roll for the captain.
Oh,
I
had because I failed that check. I add in stress.
Yes, you're going to add one more stress.
Yep.
For the fail.
Yep.
So a couple of things are going to happen at once. I'm going to rate what's going to happen, and then you talk through what you're going to have. And as PJ hasn't rolled yet, he is going to roll for the captain's piloting check. But to add a little spice to it, homebrew, baby. If the captain fails, not only will she get stressed, but the doc will get stressed because he's probably kind of stressed. Right, so
he's drunk.
As you see, like this large piece of smashed metallic debris is spinning through the air, and the captain sort of like, hold on to your butts, and she pulls. You have to make it's a speed check for. But she's got a beat. You have to get underneath a 49.
Under a 49. That is 20.
And there is a lurch, and once again, Doc, you feel your stomach turn once again. But
I got whiskey sitting.
But as the ship, instead of moving left and right, she pulls it upwards as the whole thing sort of like begins to turn. And the boosters, she hits some switches, and outside the ship you see like these sort of thrusters sort of turn and go just to give it some extra sort of lift, to just get out from a direct hit. But there is you do feel a bit of a shake. The whole ship does shake somewhat as you definitely sense this thing disappears out of your view, Dick, from the co-pilot seat that Dick has, as you see this thing sort of disappear below you, and there is a shudder from the ship. She's like, and when that happens, there's the classic sort of like boop boop boop, sparks and stuff as the whole room sort of shakes. Before the captain sort of levels it back out again, and she immediately sort of hits a button, and some fire extinguishers, doors pop open, fire extinguishers, and she's trying to just put out some of those small electrical fires that are happening. God damn it! What the hell was that thing? And she's looking at the monitor. Is there anything else out there, Dick?
I don't know. Not that I can see.
Can I see anything?
You What check do we have? Because there's not really perception in Mothership as such. There's not really an insight check or. But let's make an intellect check for Dick. As his old sort of android eyes start to sort of tune in and focus.
Oh, they still work. 32 out of 48.
So, and you look out, and you can see now in the path of whatever that thing was, there are small bits of metallic debris sort of passed by the ship, and you can hear like a couple of like very faint plinks and plunks as like things possibly hitting in the ship, but there's nothing that's going to create any kind of catastrophic damage like that you might have had just then.
Well, it doesn't look like to be an asteroid. Possibly debris from a ship.
God damn it. Well, thankfully we're all still in one piece. We are still in one piece. Dark, you okay? And at this point, we're going to make the check to see if Wendy saved Zam. Because as the ship lurched up, Wendy, and you see Zam he's about 15 feet. He's approaching, but he's stumbling. He stumbled on the floor. What do you do?
Whoa!
So I'm going to run for him, and depending on how quickly it's all happening, I probably haven't got time to get him to a chair. So I'm just going to try and pin him to the ground and hold on to, because
the way the ship was moving, it's moving up, so the artificial gravity, I mean essentially it's like a so because it was moving up, there's a good chance you could slide backwards.
Sorry, say that again, because I froze
because of the artificial gravity. The ship was moving an upwards sort of direction, so you may, if you don't pin him properly, you're going to slide down the corridor a little bit with ZAM BRAZEL, and you may bump into something. So you're going to. So we're going to make the roll, and then you're going to describe how it goes, and I'll describe how well it goes down. I would say it's got to be a speed check, because you got to act quick. But is there anything that you can add to this?
I could add my athletics.
Yep. So that's an extra 10 on top of that.
That's a 10. Could I add my military training as well?
I will allow you to double up on this. I'm going to make a...
Oh, okay, thank you. So I'm looking to get less than 47.
Because tactically, the military training is what you're going to do. The athletics is going to help you do it.
And that is a 40. Oh. Thank you for letting me double up.
So, as Zam, you feel like the ship begin to lurch, and you begin to slide backwards. Wendy hits the buckle, and the buckles just undo, and she dives forward. So what does it look like? Because you're currently in where the sort of lounge and the galley, so he could be sliding all the way down.
So maybe it's more, instead of landing on him, maybe it's more one of those where it's like grab hold of a bit of metal wall, and then with the other hand reach out and grab Bernice. Because I know he'll be holding on tight.
Do you still have Bernice?
I'm clutching Bernice, yeah.
So I've now got my hand on Bernice, and I'm holding onto the metal wall, and it's like, I won't let you go, soldier.
What do you say to that, Zam, as this is happening?
I think Zam's just too, oh God.
And for those watching, Bernice the ship is equipped with 2 laser cutters, which is used for cutting off scrap and salvage, etc. There's one underneath the bridge of the ship, like a cockpit. It's almost like an old school World War II sort of bomber style gun. But there is also a smaller, handheld is the wrong word, because it's almost like a super. It's like a Gatling gun kind of thing that requires power cell packs and stuff. And Zam's quite attached to it. Why? We'll find out. It's got Bernice written on it. And currently, Wendy, before the ship levels out, Zam was sliding, and he's just holding on to the sort of buckle, the buckle strap So he's sort of like halfway down the corridor. Wendy's got hold of sort of Bernice and is just it's the Chris Evans holding the helicopter in Winter Soldier. Do you know what I mean? The bicep is
He's not that heavy.
Zam and a laser cutter. That's
Okay.
and this.
Would you Wendy
Yeah.
was strong?
And as this is, and then there's a moment where there's this tension where you're just holding on for dear life until everything levels out once again. But and sweat is on your brow, Zam.
Yeah. This is. Oh God. Oh Jesus. Oh God. I hate that robot.
Suzanne.
He's gonna like uncharacteristically to one side whisper to Wendy, Thanks for saving me.
I won't tell anyone.
Yeah, don't tell anyone.
We all saw it.
As the doc is near the doorway, just
Hey,
looking
you
back
drunk
down
fuck.
at you. I'm not saying judgmentally, but maybe he's.
I didn't tell
Sorry.
anyone.
That stupid doc always sticking his nose in where it's not wanted. Don't
And
worry
the
about
captain
it.
is sort of tapping on as she's looking at readout. It's like, God damn it! I need someone that. We definitely took a hit somewhere. I need someone to go outside and check to make sure that everything's okay.
Yeah, I'll do it.
The robot.
I got Bernice with me. If I need to repair anything,
You are
I
not.
can use it.
No, Zam, you are not taking the laser cutter to my ship. I just
Yeah, it'll be
need
fine.
you
Don't
to
worry
go
about
out there, Zam. I just need
All
you
right,
to
I'll
just
use the
suit up
hand
and get out there and let me
welder.
know if anything's hanging off.
Fine.
Oh, God damn it! First overtime and now this. God damn it! She's trying to fix things, and
Zam's gonna
you're
get
gonna get suited up.
and he's got his hand welder now.
Yeah,
His trusty hand
as you
welder.
suit up. What does paint us a picture of what like their flight sort of the vac suits like they're chunky sort of vac suits.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a kind of like a proper
Yeah.
spacesuit with like tubes and like little control boxes to control all the like
Yeah.
circuitry and oxygen flow and all that kind of thing. And then you got your big dome helmet.
Yeah, I mean it's not as unwieldy
Yeah.
as like you see those huge NASA sort of
Not
Yeah.
like a proper
Yeah.
astronaut. No, it'll be like a bit more user
It's a
friendly.
little more science fiction, so it can be whatever
Yeah.
you want. But
But then, like you could only hear him through like the Vox.
yeah.
So it'll be like. Oh, I'm just about ready to go, Captain.
Okay. Well, just take it easy out there. What are the rest of you guys doing when Zam's about to head out? We'll get to you afterwards, Wendy. Wendy eats a biscuit at the wrong time. No,
Was that ration?
Yeah, it was yours.
yeah.
You owe me.
Damage report from Darcy.
Darcy, what's damage report?
Running diagnostics now. As you can see, like the spinning wheel.
Like it's a
It's a Mac. It's not the spinning wheel of death appears. All motor functions seem to be working optimally. We seem to have some issues with our jump drive capabilities, however. What? And we cut to outside. The ZAM BRAZEL with the mag boots. Are you going to try doing the audio like that? as he is ka-chung, ka-chung. And immediately as you're on the underside of the ship, which you're completely used to. Zam's completely used to sort of doing. He's
Got
headed
zero G,
outside,
yeah.
much like Wendy also had as well. He's headed outside and fixed bits here and there. you can see that there are certain bits that have been knocked off the ship, and you can see certain bits of debris sort of floating past. Nothing seems to be a massive sort of like the ship is going to explode. All the fuel, the fuel and the engines and everything looks safe. Make me an intellect check. You can add your. I think you've got industrial equipment, haven't you? To this.
I've got industrial equipment, 0G, jury rigging.
I would say
I've got mechanical repair as well.
I would think that's probably you could add. That is ridiculous. I mean, I will let you add industrial equipment and mechanical repair, so you can add another 25 to your intellect.
To my 45, yeah.
See how quickly ZAM.
So I got 70 now,
70, yeah.
Oh, get in. 41. Yeah, see, Zam's in his element now.
He's all you can hear is they're like, you can't really hear the crew. Everything is quiet, and all there is just industrial equipment. There's the machine in front of you. This machine that you've spent 18 months with. You know the outside of this ship.
Yeah.
So you know immediately what's okay and what's gone wrong. So it doesn't take you long to diagnose that there has been significant damage to the hyperdrive coils. Part of them, they are smashed. One of them seems to be missing from the bottom of it, and you would know that these drive coils are fundamental to the use of a jump drive. And jump drives for our players and anyone, that is what allows a ship to travel vast distances at short amount. So you could travel between systems in like 2 weeks, whereas it would probably take decades for a lot of ships. So a jump drive makes that much of a difference. Human beings should be asleep whenever they take a jump, because otherwise their brains can't handle it. I'm not saying that that's going to happen, but you never know. But in order for the jump drive to work, the coils have to be in place. So you will not be able to use this jump drive until this is fixed.
I'll report back to the captain. Hey, Captain, we got some damage to the hyperdrive coils. One's missing, a couple of them are smashed. This is going to be a big job, Captain.
God damn it. Oh, shit. Well, that's a bad day getting worse. Patch up what you can, ZAM, and get back in as soon as you can. Just get us up and running.
Yeah, you gotta be careful out there because there's lots of
Okay. Well, if ZAM manages to fix that before he gets knocked off the bottom of our ship, I think we're in a bad spot, gang. I'm not gonna lie to you. We don't have any replacements. So, looking at the readings, it seems like the ship, we can still do what we gotta do, but if we don't get replacement coils from somewhere, we ain't getting home. Any suggestions?
Well, surely one of the places we're going will have them.
Captain sort of types in. Darcy, from those schematics that he sent over for the Icarus, do you know if they have any spare hyperdrive coils? Affirmative, Captain. The Icarus is an executive class ship with a experimental hyperdrive. They have more than enough coils. you think we might be able to ask them for one? I mean, Dark. She looks at you with the look of, you're better at dealing with people like this. Do you, I mean, you've always seemed like the sort of type that's, I don't know, a little better with those upper class types.
When you start cutting into people, you realise we're all just the same.
Well, I don't want you to do that. I just, oh my god.
I mean, he's not wrong.
And the captain looks to you, Dick. What sort? She looks kind of concerned by what she's hearing right now. What face does she see from Dick Sloane?
Concentrating on calculating with the rations.
So if we've got how long till we get to the executive class ship?
That should be about another 10 days. No, it's not. No, this should be. That should be another 6 days, I think. We should be this should be 2 days out from the satellite. It's not showing up on the system. I don't know understand where the coordinates for it is not showing up.
Well, you're down to 1,800 rations a day. Sorry, calories.
Dick, I'm gonna have to put a pin in that because I need to have a talk with you privately about this right now. There's a lot going on. Okay. Well, we'll do what we can. We're gonna have to patch her up. Be nice to Zam when he comes in.
I'll make him a coffee.
Yeah, make him a coffee. He'll love that.
I'll get the ice cubes.
And
I saved him from sliding all the way down the ship and dying. Yeah.
You can. Could you put the nail gun back where it's supposed to be, Wendy?
Oh. Sure.
Thanks, honey. Yeah, we'll figure out what's going on. As soon as Zan comes in, we'll figure out what's going on. Doc, can I have a word with you a moment, please?
Of course.
And as everyone, Dick's just sort of wandering around. He's still looking out as everyone else. The captain sort of approaches you. Now, I just need to ask you. Are you still asking Wendy about those psychological evaluations?
When I can.
Okay. And still nothing?
She's not keen.
Okay. Well, as far as I can see, she's doing her job as she's supposed to. But just in case, just make sure you've got one of those stun guns near.
Oh, I'd never leave the med bay without.
Oh, Doc, I hope that's not the case.
No, it very
You're
much
constantly in
is.
fear of your life?
No, just precautions.
Okay. Well, I suppose you best head back to the med bay. I don't know where your cat might have ended up.
Yes, and I could do with a drink.
Okay. Just as you turn, make an intellect check, please, Doc.
Okay.
This isn't going to involve stress. This is a roundabout way to see if you remember something.
Oh wow, that is a 2. So
Whoa.
I am wasting these good rolls at the moment. When I need them, they're not going to be there.
As you're heading back, you're thinking as when in amongst all that the chaos, and you sat and you were just looking all around. You know, your stomach was turning, and you were looking for a place just to center your vision, to stop you from completely spinning out and throwing up everywhere. And as you were doing so, you looked out of the bridge as things were moving. And there was debris, there was all kinds floating past. And there was something that flashed past for us. And you caught sight of something on a bit of metal that sort of flew past. And the more you think about it, as you're heading down to the med bay, and you find Admiral Mittens sort of like tucked in a corner, looking pretty nervous and scared. And he's just going over in your head what you saw, trying to piece together everything. Just take another sip of whiskey just to steady your nerves.
Helps me think.
And then it sort of your brain sort of filters you go methodical. With surgical precision, your brain takes apart what you saw. And you saw on this sheet of metal that flew past, it was a word. It was the word echo. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session. We have begun. The mystery has started. You have been listening to Safe Space, a tabletop role-playing podcast featuring the Mothership game system by Tuesday Night Games. Playing the game were Jim Bampfield as ZAM BRAZEL, Lizzie Boyle as Wendy, Gavin Mitchell as Dick Sloane, PJ Montgomery as Dr. Bill Forrest, and Vince Hunt as the Game Warden. Podcast produced and edited by Vince Hunt. In-game music composed by Tabletop Audio. Visit tabletopaudio.com to discover a world of ambient music you can use in your home games. The Safe Space theme was composed by Elliot Red. Find more of Elliot's work on YouTube. To find out more about the Mothership RPG system, visit mothershiprpg.com. Follow the show on social media at SafeSpaceRPG, and for more podcasts, visit lawbreaker.podbean.com. This has been a Lawbreaker Radio production.